Welcome back to T Squared. Last week's segment was on design development of websites, and we thought a great follow-up today would be digital marketing, growing that customer base. Pleasure today to have Oluwole with us from 11X. Ayo, why don't you give us some background of how you got to this place and offering your services in the space?
Sure. Thanks for having me, by the way. So I've been doing digital marketing for about 12 years now. Started doing a lot of big global brands at the NBA, managed those relationships. Moved into the luxury digital marketing space, doing strategy for luxury brands moving into digital. Then had my own watch brand for a while, and then worked with a startup here in LA that's focused on e-commerce. So all in all, between those experiences and starting 11X, probably worked on over 100 different e-commerce properties. And now we are exclusively focused on e-com and driving growth and performance for brands online.
Great. Well, LA is certainly the place to do that. Can you, every time I talk to people in this space, they all seem to be puzzled about digital marketing. What is digital marketing?
Yep, sure. So digital marketing is broken up into two buckets of its own. So the first is kind of the organic side of things. So doing organic social media, doing content like blogs, things like that. And then the performance side, which is where we focus. So everything is measurable, scalable, replicable, automatable, that sort of thing, where you can actually drive performance, track performance, and leverage data to help you grow.
Okay. People must love that, because traditional marketing you can never measure.
Yeah. So there's a long time people tried to figure out how to measure kind of offline or traditional marketing, and it's not very easy, but I think the digital space has created the sort of environment when data-centric or data-focused growth, people can actually drive and move the needle very measurably for brands and products.
Great. Let's say I have my brand, I might have a site, I might have a small customer base. How do we gain more customers? How do we grow that customer base?
Yeah, so the way we generally look at it is in terms of a life cycle and a funnel. So at the top of the funnel, you have awareness, right? So people need to know who you are, what you sell. And our goal at that point is to get people aware of the brand. Once they're aware, we like to acquire them. So that means getting them to come to a website, sign up for an email address, things like that. And then after that, the first profitable area of acquisition is by getting them to make a purchase. So that's that first acquisition.
Convert them.
Exactly. To actually convert them into a customer. And then after that, it's all about building lifetime value and retention efforts to really build loyalty out of your customer base.
Yeah, I kind of hear that term about lifetime value. How do you measure that?
It's an interesting and almost defining for digital marketing. So the way we look at it is to say, of all of your customers, on average, how much value does that one customer drive for you? So if you've got the type of product that someone might only buy once, that lifetime value will be what their average order value is as they come to the site.
At one time.
Exactly. Okay. And then for brands that have the type of product that you can resell or upsell or cross-sell based on products, you're actually able to build that lifetime value over time. So if you think about, subscription type of service, so if you're subscribing to, Harry's or any of these brands that have a replaceable product.
Basic product.
Yeah.
Razor blades.
Exactly. And, people do it for all kinds of different things, subscription boxes, clothes, whatnot. Then you're able to grow that lifetime value over time. And then the important thing about lifetime value is that if you know what your average value is per customer over time, you can back that in to say, okay, if I'm going to make $200 from Trent over the lifetime of him being involved with this brand, I can pay, maybe it's $25 to acquire him based on my margins, so that I use that as my target to say, while I'm doing Facebook ads or I'm doing email campaigns, as long as I can get Trent in the door for $25 or less, I'm going to be profitable. And that defines and really controls everything that we do and kind of guides our digital marketing.
Right. So whoever's holding that budget can, very easily define whether you're going to get that payback.
Yeah, and it should be to the penny. Literally, there's no reason to ever not know how effective what you're doing is, and use it to measure how effective you are at driving new customers, getting existing customers to repurchase.
So now you've acquired them. How do you retain them?
Sure. So again, we go back to the funnel.
Okay.
And so this is where we leverage life cycle marketing. A lot of it is behavioral. A lot of it is based on what someone has done in the past. And so,
You know my behavior. You'll be able to.
of course, we track everything. So it's the beauty and the curse of online is, we have this privacy versus convenience conversation that's happening all the time.
Okay.
So we're collecting cookies on your behavior. We are watching what products you're looking at on a site. We're seeing when you open emails, what time of day it is, that sort of thing, and using that behavior to help guide our efforts to figure out how and when we target you.
So even time of day it can be critical in terms of how effective that's going to be.
Absolutely. And we do things like time parsing with our digital ad spend. So we know people are most active in the morning for X type of product. And so we'll ramp up our spend in the mornings, lower it in the afternoons or overnight, things like that, to be able to kind of target around those data points that we see.
How do you figure out which channel to attack for a brand?
Yeah,
like
so
this?
the common theme of this conversation will obviously go back to the life cycle, but depending on where you what your need is where you determine what channels you use. So if you're thinking about top of funnel, what you want to do is get people aware of your brand. So you might want to run some ads on Facebook because there's this audience of probably 1 billion plus people that you can get access to if you're talking to a global audience, more narrow if you're talking US only. But top of funnel, our goal is to drive awareness, drive traffic to the site through a platform like Facebook. When you're thinking about lower funnel, someone who's already made a purchase and you want them to repurchase, increase that lifetime value, email is by far our most effective means of doing that. So we can set up automation, and we call it the behavioral lifecycle automation, where we can say, Trent bought on Tuesday. We know usually someone would need to replenish that product 3 months from now. So maybe 2.5 months we say, hey, are you running low on our product?
Right.
And that sort of thing. And so we built that out for hundreds of emails in terms of automation based on behaviors that you take. So you browse a site, you don't buy that product, we can target you with that same product, whether it be on Facebook, via email, via Google, all these different ways.
Wow, this is great stuff, but this has been so rich today that I think we're going to break this into 2 parts.
Okay.
So we're going to wrap up part 1 now. Thank you very much.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's get back for part 2 a little bit later. Thanks for coming out to T Squared. We welcome your questions. See you for the next segment. Tune in for part 2.